I feel like I need to make this video because I see so many people saying like you need to get your art out there, you need to promote yourself on social media, you need to do all of this promotion of your stuff so that people know who you are and know your brand, and yes, all of those things are important if you're trying to live off of your art. I understand that. But I think there's a fine line, especially when you're still trying to improve and get to a certain point in your art career, and just like I'm talking your draftmanship, where social media can kind of get in the way a little bit. And I think there's a danger that comes from dedicating too much time to social media and trying to grow on social media, and catering towards a social media audience versus your own needs and your own just your own self, and not even to mention that the dangers of like that come with trying to get better while you're on social media too, the social media anxiety that comes with that too. So I'm going to touch a little bit on that in this video, but yeah, to preface this whole thing, I may get a few dislikes because I may have a few hot takes. I'm not sure if they're hot takes or not. I don't really know. I'm not on social media, so it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm about to get into it. So before I even say anything about social media, I do want to kind of give a backstory for me and my journey on like getting better as an artist. And first and foremost, I want to say the year 2020 was probably the most productive year for me as far as my art. If you look at the beginning of 2020 all the way to the end of 2020, I was a completely different artist. Okay, I did not do the same stuff. I was like my art it took off. That's all I can say, is that it took off. I gained so much experience in that 1 year that I think that was like the biggest growth spurt as far as my art went. So 2020 was the best year for my art, but it was probably like one of the more bleak / frustrating years of my life too, because I came to a lot of realizations with my art, and as an artist, we have to develop a critical eye for our stuff. I feel like that's very important if you want to be successful. You have to know what looks good and you have to know what looks bad. So I think that's important. So I think I really developed that in 2020 because I looked at my art and realized that I was trash. I was not a good artist, and again, the self-deprecation and all of that, that's partially playing. But as artists, I do agree with the notion that you need to be critical of your work. So I definitely I developed a critical eye, man. I really did. I learned that I wasn't as good on some of the fundamentals that I may have thought I was, and I think that's why I began to grow, is because I had a very critical eye for my stuff, and I learned how to do the stuff more effectively to where it was more aesthetically pleasing. So I grinded, and how did I get that eye? Is I was drawing every day, and back in 2020, back when I had a job and I was in school, I'm still in school, by the way, but like back then I had a job and, I would go home. Then if friends wanted to chill or whatever, back before coronavirus and all that, then we'd go out, do some stuff or whatever. Then I'd head back home and then draw. So like, it was one of those things where it's like, I didn't, besides life stuff, I was drawing. So I drew, I want to say on average, it was every day, mind you, it was every day for the most part. If I could do it, it was every day. At least 2 hours, max 5 or 6, and again, this is on top of having like maybe a 6-hour a day job, and then coming home from school, which could take from anywhere from like 8:30 in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So again, like I was about that hustle mentality, and I was really about social media. I experienced the biggest growth in my social media page ever. For those of you folks on YouTube, YouTube was not my primary platform. I was an Instagram artist. Back then, I want to say I had like 1,400 followers. Not to brag, but my ratio was kind of straight. I was only following 700 people. You know what I'm saying? Got that ratio. But no, that doesn't matter now. But I was a pretty intermediate artist as far as like people who knew me. Like I knew some people who were kind of big, like it was like bigger accounts were starting to follow me. That was like right around that time. And some people I looked up to were starting to follow me and starting to recognize my work, and I was like, yo man, this is so dope. So I was really keen on yeah, just the overall like the social media stuff. Okay. Yeah, I was really big on the social media stuff. So I was one of those people who was like a really big advocate for, okay, if you want to get better at art and you want to improve your audience, you have to be drawing every day. You have to be trying to post at least 3 to 4 times a week on Instagram. You know, you have to really hit those numbers, try and hit that algorithm, and really try and like focus on growth. Focus on growth. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, man. That works. It does. It does work. You know, I gained a lot more people. I want to say like the year 2020, I gained like 400 followers, which may not be a lot for some people, but for me, you know, that was a lot. And you know, especially comparing them to previous years when I may have only gotten like 200 or 100 followers, you know. So 400 was a very big increase, and you know, bigger names starting to notice me was also one of those, you know, I think big increases as to why I got some follows. But yeah, man, I was really big on social media and like, yo, man, you should be trying to like really find what you want to do. Make sure you create your page to where you are specific about what it is you want to draw and what it is, what medium you're using. And you want to make sure you're only providing that kind of content and making sure the audience knows that this is what you're about, you know. And listen, man, again, that works. That really does work. If you really want to grow on social media, it's no secret. You have to make sure that you define who you are, define what kind of artist you are, and then you have to hit that audience. You got to hit that audience. So that's what I did, and it worked. And that's why I was starting to get bigger and starting to gain more traction. But what people don't tell you is that really does start to limit how much you can grow, especially when you have a job, when you have, let's say, a family, let's say you have a school. That limits, you know, a lot of your time you have to spend creating to keep that and maintain that audience. And you can't spend as much time studying the fundamentals, studying paintings, you know, studying art styles, you know, to get better and to improve overall. You have to constantly provide what it is your audience wants. So with social media, you know, you can fall into that trap to where you need to make sure you're you have to make sure you're providing for that audience. And that's, I don't know, man. I don't know how to, I don't think that that's really ideal for artists who are looking to get better effectively. So I'd say, you know, punching the numbers and punching the algorithm, that's, you know, that's good for growth. But even then, it's like you really have to weigh the options as if growth is even should be a priority right now, and what it is you really want to do with your art. What are you trying to say with your art? And that's what I had to think about, you know, during that year 2020, because like I said, I got really good. But I developed a very bad habit of comparing my art to other people, especially my peers around me. And it was something where it's like, I just did it low key. Like I wouldn't like sit there and be like, okay, you're doing this better than me. I'm doing this better than you. So therefore you're probably a little bit better than me, but I'm still like, I wasn't doing that. It would just be low key things that I would keep to myself. And, I'd still show my support. I wasn't no hating dude, but it's like, yeah, I really did, compare my art a lot. And dude, that takes a very real toll on your mental. It does. It makes you think your art is trash all the time, because you're always going to find something bad with your art. And if you run into a better artist, you know, you're always going to be, you know, a little bit, you're going to be looking for what they're doing right, you know, analyzing. But sometimes you have to like really take a step back and like you have to be like, okay, you can't compare. I hate comparing, and that's a reason why I had to get off of social media, to relearn how to not compare my art when I'm drawing. So I want to say in February 2021, like towards the end, I got off of Instagram, or actually towards the middle. I got off of Instagram because my social anxiety for like posting and keeping up and maintaining my followers, it reached an all-time high. It was one of those things where I would compare. I would be like, man, why the hell are these people following me? You know, when there's just way better artists out there. Like I almost felt like it was imposter syndrome for, you know, the followers that I was getting. Like maybe I wasn't good enough to really have these followers. And I was like, I'd rather give it up. You know, I'd rather give it up and really reclaim my art and reclaim who I was and reclaim why I was drawing, you know, as opposed to fighting Instagram's dying algorithm and trying to maintain an audience that, you know, I loved my audience, man. They were really cool people. You know, I have nothing bad to say about the people who came on my page, but I just said, okay, no, I'm not gonna maintain that anymore. It's not as important anymore. So I dropped it. And I said, okay, I'm going to use this time to better myself first outside of art, and then my art, So, and I was still drawing, I'm still drawing, every day or every other day at least, I'm addicted to drawing. You could not tell me to stop drawing. So I've always been like a artist, but it definitely was different. It was definitely a different vibe when I got off of social media, and I was like, okay, what is it that I need to do to really become more healthy in my mind for my art? Because if you're healthy in your mind, your art is going to improve way faster than if you're not healthy and if you're not taking care of yourself. And I did not know that. I thought if I just work this amount of time, then I'm going to get this amount of output and this amount of traction and this amount of skill. If I put in the work, I'm going to get this. And with art, that's kind of true, but it's also kind of not. With art, there's definitely levels to it, and you can get something way better sometimes if you really understand the concept and just look and understand, versus always just repeating and repeating and doing and doing and doing and doing. Sometimes if you just understand something, you'll get it faster. I think Mark Brunett says it best. Learning to observe is one of the smartest things an artist can learn how to do. But anyways, I had to figure out what it was that I needed to do to take care of myself. So I decided to work out a lot more. COVID really hurt me because I used to be a gym nut, not gonna lie. But then COVID was like, nah, man. So I had to really fight back and get back into like doing a routine. So I began running every day, and I used to do this a lot, but then again COVID. So running every day, wake up in the morning, run 2 miles, and come back, take a shower. Start the day off right. Start the day off fresh. Start the day off with energy. That's what you need to do, and prioritize. And then after that, establishing a good diet and a good just schedule for your day often does help too. So I'm not the biggest on schedules. I'm not going to lie to you, but I do use them very loosely, and I do plot out my day accordingly sometimes. But overall, like those are things that like are really going to help your output as an artist without you having to kill yourself essentially over this art stuff, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to have to slave over your art. Okay, you don't want to have to slave over your art. So you want to set aside time, and you want to make sure that like you're taking care of everything else in your life too. So if you got friends, you got social gatherings, and when I go to those, what I'm saying, do your thing at those. Again, just make sure you're being balanced with your life activities, because that's what I was doing. I was trying to hang out with friends more, trying to do this, that, and the third more. Just make sure your life is on track. You don't want to be in a bad headspace when you're trying to improve. You want to make sure that you can dedicate all of your brain power to the activity that you're about to do, which is drawing. You want to make sure you're dedicating a lot of your brain power to that. And that's what I think is what I was doing, because when I cut out all of that gray matter, that clutter that was social media, online stuff, and really just focused on my life, and then clearing all of the BS that was in my life and streamlining my life to this art stuff a little bit better, fine-tuning it, that's when I started to see how easy, not even easy, but like just I was starting to, one, appreciate my art more, and two, I was improving. Like I was really starting to improve like fast. And again, I struggle to fully get on board and say you should delete social media if you're trying to get better for real. But again, man, like it's one of those things where sometimes it's a conflict of interest. Now, I'm not saying some artists can't do it. Probably most artists can. I know for me personally, I could not get better and entertain social media at the same time. And this is not to say that I'll never get on social media. I'm more or less taking a break from it. I don't know if I'll ever get on Instagram again, though. I'm not sure. I just don't know. But overall, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that, like, yeah, it can sometimes be a conflict of interest with social media and trying to improve your art. So you have to weigh the option of whether or not social media is really benefiting you for your artistic journey. So I see a lot of these content creators, back what I was saying before, is that like they're saying, you got to push your content, got to make sure you're getting your stuff out there, how to gain readers on Webtoon, how to do this for Instagram, how to do this for Twitter, all of this stuff. And it's like people are having to keep track of how to, market themselves and all of that. And they're trying to get better at art. And sometimes it just isn't, you can't do it at the same time. Sometimes you have to just be like, okay, here's what I'm trying to do. Let me do this first. Let me focus on this first. And what I was like is that I want to focus more on my art first. I want to be an art god, okay? I want to be a god at this art stuff, man. And I'm nowhere near, man. I'm barely a peasant, bro. So like, I want to get to the next level, okay? I want this to be my career. I love doing this. If you could just pay me to stay in my room and draw, I would not be mad, okay? I love this art stuff, but if I had to choose, I'd rather focus on my art right now and then market myself a little bit later. See, people who are passionate about what they do, they're going to find people are going to find them, because they're just that passionate and they love what they do. And if you're good at it, yeah, you're gonna get followers regardless, okay? That's just how it is. And me, I'm passionate, man. I'm not trying to be cocky, but like, I know I'm at least a little bit good to where I can attract some people to follow my art. I'm not trying to be cocky right here or anything like that. I'm just saying people who are good at what they do and who are passionate about what they do are going to find people to follow them. It don't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter how many subscribers I get on this page. It doesn't. It doesn't really matter how many people watch this video, how many people want, it does not matter to me. I make videos mainly for myself. The Failing with Styles don't even do that, big. They aren't that big, but I love doing those because like, it's like an update where you see all my art, you see all my stuff. And, it just shows like kind of like a check-in, an update kind of video, but like a little bit fun for me, so like I tell you my video games that I'm playing or the art pieces that I'm working on, sometimes even projects that I'm working on, although I keep a lot of those on the low because I don't like people knowing about my stuff like that. Not yet, but yeah, man, I don't do this stuff for other people anymore, man. And that's the thing I think a lot of people need to learn to do is stop caring what people want to see out of you, man. Like, figure out what you suck at, art-wise or otherwise, and then just attack that. If you are balls at anatomy, pick up an anatomy book. Like, all right, screw your audience. Pick up an anatomy book. Study that. Do studies. You know what I'm saying? Help yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Like focus on, like, prioritize yourself. Prioritize your growth over your social media growth. And I think that's something that's probably a hot take. So I don't think you should be worrying about your Instagram audience, your Twitter audience, your DeviantArt audience, your ArtStation audience, YouTube audience, whatever audience. I don't really think that's too important at the moment. I think, at least for me, or I'll say this for me, it wasn't important for me. And I think more artists need to prioritize working on themselves, prioritize being healthy, prioritize taking care of yourself, self-care, all of that stuff. I'm not trying to be, one of these gurus on like these aesthetic gurus that like just try and sell you like this perfect lifestyle. Like, I do this, I wake up every morning out and I do this. I have my skincare routine, I shave and then I do all of this and then I put on this. Like, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to tell you that, you're going to see growth in both of these methods. You'll see growth either way if you're just drawing. So I want to say that the social media way works. It does work. And that's why I wanted to tell you my stories, that like I experienced a lot of growth when I, followed the steps that a lot of these people said. But I don't know if I was I for damn sure was not as happy as I am now, off of social media, working on my stuff and getting better and seeing the growth and appreciating the art that I put out. A lot of times, people don't appreciate the art that they put out anymore, and I think that is in turn to social media. That's because of social media that we don't appreciate what we put out, and that's so sad, man. Because again, back in middle school, I was that kid that I was the artsy kid. I was the kid that like he's the one that could draw, and I would go home, have all my posters or like my anime drawings or whatever, and I would just lay on my bed with all my posters hanging up and just stare at my posters and just visualize my story coming to life, dude. Through these pieces, through this art. So it's like, I lost that when I got on Instagram and social media, and I just couldn't do that anymore. You know, I only recently am I starting to really appreciate the stuff that I put out, and like just really stare and just really like fantasize about that stuff, because you know, when I start fantasizing, that's when I'm most creative. But yeah, like I lost that when I was on Instagram and I was you know, grinding and, you know, trying to do this and just promote myself. So yeah, I just think a lot of art. I wanted to make this video because I think a lot of people prioritize growing on online, you know, over growing in real life. You know, I think it's so interesting, and I get it, man. Like, you want to make this your career. You know, I want to make this my career too. I'm not saying quit social media like I did or anything. I'm just saying really understand what season of life you're going through right now and try and adjust yourself accordingly. Do you think you need to be promoting your stuff online right now, or do you think you need to try and better yourself? You know, like, why, like, some people are worried about their online presence, but then like don't even like care for themselves, like don't even like take care of themselves in real life, you know? And I'm just like, you know, your online persona, it's important, but it's not important in your like real life, you know? It's not, it will never be more important than what you are in the flesh. So it's like, I think more people need to realize that and act accordingly, take care of themselves, man. Like it's just amazing, man. It's amazing that people, you know, will risk everything for online stuff, for people who may not even care at the end of the day, man. Like, start being more selfish. Start being more selfish. Stop trying to you know, appeal to the algorithm, because the algorithm on Instagram was starting to die anyways. So I don't know how good or bad it is now, but you know, I know when I left it was terrible. So yeah, man, that's the video. So just to wrap everything up, some healthier ways, instead of like trying to like promote and you know, just be on social media and try and be out there, I'd say some healthier ways are to if you want, you can start a project. I hear a lot of people say they you know, they want to do this project, but they don't think their art is good enough. You will improve tenfold if you just start and you stick to something. I'm being so serious, it's not even a joke. You look at my art from 1 year ago, you look at my art after I started that project, ridiculous change, man. Just saying. So I can advocate that, yeah, if you just work on something, and if you just are consistent with your drawing routine, you're going to see progress. So so instead of like just trying to like be on social media and just draw for your audience and, you know, get better on top of promoting your stuff, on top of, you know, maintaining an audience, I'd say screw maintaining an audience, screw getting more clout on social media. Please just work on like your stuff, your story. Please work on like the story you're trying to tell, the art you're trying to make, whatever it just so happens to be. Focus more on that. Give that more of your time and energy, because that's going to be what we remember you for. I don't think a lot of people are going to be remembered for like their Instagram profiles. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. You know, like, I don't think Tetsuya Nomura, the artist for Kingdom Hearts stuff, was known for like his Twitter page. Okay, he was known for making Kingdom Hearts and you know, the artwork for it, you know. So same with like a lot of these big artists. I know you need I do recognize that, you know, social media helps you discover people, but like, again, focus on what you need to focus on for right now in this season of your life. And then once, you know, once you actually, you know, hit a goal that you may have made for yourself, then get back on and then focus on something. Like, set one goal and then hit that goal hard, and then after you hit that goal, then, you know, set another goal. I don't really like doing a whole lot of, you know, different goals at the same time. Maybe it works for some people, it doesn't work for me. So again, I'm not going to speak on it, but anyways, that's just what I wanted to say. This may be a little bit controversial. I don't usually make videos like this. I make tutorials. I make failing with style videos, which is like a series where I just talk about again, you know, myself, the art that I made the week that I was recording it, and some games that have inspired me or inspired some of the art that I made, and then, you know, sometimes my story, you know, here and there. But yeah, and I again, like I said, tutorials. I think I dropped one last week. Yeah. But anyways, man, not to waste any of you guys' time, if you made it this far, you know what I'm saying, drop big old chicken nuggets in the chat. I don't know. I don't know how. I really don't think people be watching my videos past a certain point. So if you did, again, you're a real one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off. So yeah, y'all enjoy your day, night, or whatever, and I'll holler at you in the next one. Peace.